All right, you grasshoppers. Hope everybody had a fun holiday weekend. Ate too much, drank too much. And now we get back to work. I certainly did. Tara, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. So this is a very good friend of mine. Well, we know each other. I shouldn't say a very good friend of mine. We met each other at the gym several years ago. She's a very impressive young lady in that when you meet, like, sweetheart, nice, cordial a whole bit, but very driven and motivated. So I hope I'm saying that it's meant as a compliment. I hope I'm saying that the right way, because you're very impressive.
Compliment. Yes.
Good. So Tara currently works in field in law, and recently, I guess during this pandemic, has decided, well, she's got a little time on her hands, so she's going to open up a new business and start get into the fitness world. So that's pretty impressive.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So we'll talk about your background a little bit here too. So we have a connection, me being Canadian. Your father was actually born in Italy, but lived in Canada for a long time. Actually, very close to where I'm from. I'm from Brampton. He's from Richmond Hill, and he played for the Canadian soccer team. That's pretty cool.
Thank you. He did. He was a great inspiration to grow up with. So I've had the benefit of having a very athletic father, and taught me a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of grit and hard work.
Yeah, no kidding. So he's still alive, your father?
He is, yes. He just celebrated a birthday. So
yeah. Cool. Very cool. And then you're quite an athlete yourself. So I'm one of the few people I've ever met that was a hurdler.
Yes, I saw a little kid doing that when I was in 7th grade, and I said, I want to do that. So that's where that all started.
Wow. So, the training for her, obviously it's running, but it's not the same. You're not doing the same as like the 100-yard dash or anything like that. It's specific training, obviously.
So in college, it was a little bit different, since typically athletes run more than one event. So I was training not just for the hurdles, but also for the straight sprints. So I did train for the 100-meter straight, the 200-meter straight. And then, of course, you had technical hurdle days, which was all working on technique and form, and a lot of speed work. And I also ran the 400-meter hurdle. So I had a lot of strength endurance and speed endurance training for that too. So it was a mix.
Very cool. So when you were in college, did you get a scholarship for track?
So, yes, a partial scholarship. I went to Fordham University, which is Division I, Atlantic 10. And so I had a partial scholarship, which helped a bit, and I ended up breaking the indoor and outdoor hurdle records my junior or senior year. And they have since been broken, which is fine, because they were broken by somebody I admire and helped coach. So that's great. And then I continued competing after college and actually beat my college time. So that was exciting.
Wow. So where would you compete after college? Is there like pro leagues or something?
So within USA Track and Field, they have an open division and they have a club division. So basically after college, I was still competing against college athletes as well as considered open athletes. And I also competed for Westchester Track Club when I needed an actual track affiliation to run with. And I was working with a coach, Dwayne Johnson is his name. He was the best. He trained me after college. He's out of Long Island. So we would go to invitationals, mostly a lot in Boston were the big meets, which were college and pros and amateurs, people who just graduated college or people in their 30s and all the way up to pros. So,
very cool.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight then. So you then got into coaching. So you held these records, you got into coaching, and you coached the young girl that then broke your records.
I helped coach her. I'm not going to give myself too much credit. When I was in law school, I was a volunteer track coach at Fordham. So I was also still training. So I got the benefit of using their beautiful indoor track facility. And I was also helping the hurdlers and doing the workouts with them. So I'll say I gave her a few tips. She was so tall. I said, you got to use those legs and get your speed up. And she did. She was a multi-event athlete, and she's a wonderful girl, and she ended up breaking my record. So I was happy it was her who broke them.
Did you guys have a little discussion about that? That'd be kind of funny, I bet.
She's in Germany now.
Oh, okay.
We'll chat every once in a blue moon, but
that's great. So you sound like you're one of these people, and one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, and I've learned more through my True Grit life as time's gone on about really trying to get the most out of life all the time. Mm-hmm. And it seems like you've learned that probably at a younger age than I did about, you're going to school. You didn't go to Fordham for law, correct?
No. So I went to Fordham University undergrad and Pace University Law School up in White Plains for law school.
Okay. So what did you go to school at Fordham for? What was your major there?
So, oh, gee, let's see. I changed it 3 times, but I ended up settling on political science, and I ended up minoring in communication and media studies because I was interested in sports PR, and so I ended up minoring in that, and then the political science was my major in the end.
When did you decide to go to law school then? Was that?
So kind of my junior year, I think I decided. So I started studying for the LSATs, and I decided I wanted to go to one law school, and I only applied there, which was not the best, route to go. But I was also considering and hoping I had a 5th year out for eligibility. So I was waiting for the 5th year. Unfortunately, I did not end up qualifying for a 5th year to run. So I ended up working for a year and then going to law school.
Oh, okay.
So I took that gap year, not really by choice, but because I only applied to one school. And I'll admit I did not get into my first choice school. So I went through and got into a few other ones that I liked, and then I went. So
You're a little stubborn, are you?
Sorry?
You're a little stubborn, I see.
Yeah, yeah, thank my dad for that.
Oh, good. Nothing wrong with that. Well, I've been very fortunate. I get to do a lot of events with Navy SEALs and Air Force, retired Air Force and Army guys and everything. We talk all the time about, having a plan, like plan A. And people sometimes ask, well, what's your plan B? And my response is, well, finish plan A. The Navy SEALs are a little bit more, they're actually really surprised, not surprised, but the way they talk about it is that you've got to know that you've got to have to adjust the plan. You're wanting to get from point A to point B, and that doesn't change, but it's how you get there that's really matters, right? So you had the vision to go to one school and it didn't work out, but you got to change the plan a little bit. So
right, I did, and people said if you take the year off, you're not going to want to go to law school. I said no, that's my plan. I'm sticking to it, and I did. So
it's funny when I went to college long time ago at Northern Michigan University. The first year I was there was the first year they had a hockey program, and this one guy on the team, really nice guy. We were just sitting around chatting one day, and he. Similar to your story there, I said, no, I'm going to do it. He made the comment like, well, nobody from this team's ever going to play in the National Hockey League. And that was my lifelong dream to play in the NHL. And I just snapped on him. I was terrible. I was trying to apologize later. I said, don't you ever say that, this is what I'm going to do. So I think it's how you do it. But I like your attitude there that, people are saying you shouldn't do that because you're not going to want to do it. But you knew in your mind, yes, I can do it, right? So
yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good. So again, where we're going with all that was, I like your attitude about, and this really, and I hope I said that when I met you, you could really feel it coming from you too, that you're really motivated in life. You don't want to just, have one career or do one thing, and that really, like even the hurdling, that's not just going to define who you are. That's what you did in college, and now you are moving on to 2 different careers. So does that come from the father, you think, or what?
Oh, yeah. I don't do well with idle time. So I kind of look for silver linings. And unfortunately, COVID was disastrous for everyone. And my sympathies out to the families who were affected. And I had a lot of downtime. I work, at a law firm. I'm as a lawyer, and I'm in court a lot. And the courts, as you know, were shut down. So that gave me time on my hands. Working from home was difficult because I'm used to being out and about, running around. So I decided, I've always been interested. I like the coaching. Let me look into personal training. So I looked into a few of the different programs, and I decided to pursue NASM, which has a great reputation. And I spoke to a lot of trainers, some at Lifetime who were very helpful. I'm a member at Lifetime Fitness, and picked a few of their brains, and ended up studying for that. It was difficult. I don't have a science background. I did not study science in college. So it was a lot of learning, and I passed my exam, and happy to say I am now a certified personal trainer with NASM, and also pursuing my group fitness instructor certification right now.
Oh, good. Oh, so there's 2 different things. So if you can, the first one with NASM that you have, you can teach individuals.
Yes.
And another certification to teach classes.
To teach groups, yes. And I'm actually part of a fitness vacation exchange now. I was accepted to, travel, well, hopefully soon, to islands such as Mexico. A lot of them are in Mexico for the resorts. And in exchange for you staying there for a discounted fee and all-inclusive resorts, you provide a few classes a week or to train groups at the resort. So that was something I was interested in too. So hopefully that'll be up and running once travel rules are a little bit.
Well, just so you know, I prefer an aisle seat if you're going to book my flight. to take your bodyguard or something. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yes, especially yes. Right now, yes.
Yeah, that's cool. So do you find yourself, and I've seen this with a lot of people, actually my oldest son, well, both my sons are like that too. I was kind of concerned when they were in high school, they started taking a lot more stuff, a lot more of a social life, they're playing sports and all that kind of stuff. And I just kind of go, geez, they're not going to have enough time. But what I found was, and I've seen from a lot of people, the more active they are, the more productive they are, because they just don't sit around, like you say, wasted time. They know they've got a schedule, and they really take advantage of their time. Did you find that with yourself?
Yes, definitely. I learned that in college. I had a great mentor or counselor. He was a counselor for the athletes, and I still remember what he said to me. He said it's about quality, not quantity. So I know the time that I have to perform certain tasks and skills, I have to, do it put a lot of effort into it. And then I know I could waste all day doing something, but it's not necessarily going to be quality. So I just find if I have something I have to get to next, I'm going to spend, put all my effort into the task at hand, do that, and then move on instead of, wasting time not doing something the right way. So,
I'm really big on doing lists. I always have those to-do lists going. I always try to make sure I put the thing at the top of the list that I at least want to do. Like, don't wait till the end of the day to do it. Try to get the hardest thing done. Is that, you do a lot of that stuff too?
Yeah, I mean, yes. So when I'm working full time, my schedule is so structured because I have such a tight time schedule. I have to be before a judge at a certain time, or in court at a certain time, or at a deposition at a certain time. So I know, let me get all my work done, cleared away, and then at the end of the day is when I can do my fitness things and train myself, and now train other people. So, that's my schedule's a little different now because we're doing everything virtual court and everything like that. But
so with the fitness, what kind of instructor are you? You're pushing them hard? Are you nice to them? Are you cordial? I guess, or do you change it for the different people?
Well, so since I'm so new at this, I've trained people in the past informally, at the track, some athletes, things of that nature. And just going by that, I was pushy a little bit, but in a nice way, telling them what, taking a video, showing them what could be fixed, what can be corrected. I think I'm going to be tough, but understanding, person.
You may have, and I don't mean this in a bad way, since I'm talking about myself. When I went on, I told this story several times. When I went on Survivor, they do all these psych tests, and it's kind of funny. They after they do the test, you sit with the doctor and they explain the results of the test. And again, I've told the story so many times, but the doctor, first thing she said to me was, Tom, you have a hard time with empathy. And honest to God, I was sitting there thinking to myself, I don't even know if I know what the word means totally. I tried to get her to tell me what it meant. She started laughing at me. She says, you don't even know what it means. So now it's kind of opened up the door to me attempting to be more empathetic, but people laugh because it's just not a natural thing with me. Like I'm more, if somebody's got a problem, okay, let's fix the problem. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, poor you. But I think in that business, you have to be somewhat empathetic, right? But you still have to push the people.
Yeah, I see if I see someone working hard and really trying, then I have an understanding. I do have empathy. I do know what that means. You're a professional athlete. You're supposed to be so. Yeah. Well. But if someone's working hard and putting effort into it, and trying to learn, then I'm understanding. But I can be a little pushy too. So.
Do you think that's a good lesson for young kids? I know you speak to kids too. I go out and speak to a lot of kids, and one of they ask a lot of questions about how do you get people to help you along the way, be kind of a mentor or whatever. And I find I'm the same way, and I found people like that with me when I was starting my agent business. If I was willing to do the work, or if I see somebody else willing to do the work, then yes, you want to help them even more, right? You don't want to. If somebody's just waiting for you to do it, it's like, well, no, it's your project, it's your education, it's your life. You got to put the work in. I'll help you. If you're working at it, I'll help you all you want. So that's the same way with you with the training, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm also a student athlete mentor at Fordham. So I get hooked up with an athlete every year. And so I actually help them out in their academics or athletics, just, mentally, if they want to talk about anything or chat. So I find, they're reaching out to me and working hard to get ahead in life. So to me, that just makes me want to help them and help that,
Yeah.
student athletes and the students, because I see they're trying to better themselves. So then I'm always willing to help someone who is looking to better themselves, and anyone who comes to me for help, I will help them. Always, friends, family, athletes, students. So that's just my nature.
Yeah, I know. I have noticed. That's what I said when I met you the first time. Like you're like really personable and everything, you know. But I do notice, and I mean, again, really in a good way. It's like you got your discipline and everything, you know. Like we chatted for a little bit, but when it was time for you to get back to work or whatever it was, you go back.
And I was like, see you later.
Yeah.
Time's up.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's good. I like that a lot. So okay, let me get this straight. So you've got the law really has kind of slowed down the law career, right? Because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
You've done all the studying and you're mentoring the student. Are you able to mentor during the pandemic at all?
So not live events, but we had with the Fordham track team, the coach put together a panel of his athletes, which was what a good idea. And we all had, I think it was Zoom or Skype. I think it was Zoom. So we all kind of had a few months ago a conference or a meeting, and it was some track alumni who are now professionals who were able to speak to the student athletes on Zoom. So that was a nice thing to organize. And the individual that I was assigned to at Fordham reached out to me to talk about careers right now in law and to help him go over his resume. So we're doing it indirectly and virtually right now.
It's what I think too is really when I do stuff like that, when you help kids, you know, sometimes people think, well, geez, it's kind of a requirement. It's good to have on the resume and all that. For me, I tell you, it makes me better. I think when I do that kind of stuff, right? Because you're giving more to somebody else. It's like now you've made yourself a stronger person. Right.
Because I had mentors throughout, school, law school, my career, and those mentors were the most important people in my life. So I know how important it is, and I still remember the things that they said to me and the advice that they gave me. So if I can help someone and make something stick with them or resonate, then that to me is, then I've helped them out, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah, isn't that true? I remember times when people, if I go to a hockey camp during the summer, I'll never forget this story. I don't know why it sticks in my brain so much, but there's an instructor, a really good guy. He was really into it, a younger guy. He's really, he wasn't just putting in his time. And I made some good defensive play that was just an average, everybody, you do it all the time. But he made such a point. Like I remember I had their sponsor that had the jersey on was Arrowway. I don't know, that sticks in my brain. He didn't know my name or anything like that. All he saw was Arrowway on my jersey. Nobody else had the Arrowway jersey. So he was like, Arrowway, great job, great job. And I'll never forget how much that meant to me. Like I said, I still remember it now. It's like probably 55 years ago or something like that happened. But you're right. It's when you remember back about those things and how much it meant to you, like this person pointing out that I did something well on the ice, it really does. Now you think to yourself, wow, it can really make a difference in somebody else's life, right?
Definitely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fun times. All right, so you don't have a whole lot of time in your hands. Are you back at Lifetime Gym now that they're opened up or what?
I am. And so I decided that I'm going to take a tennis lesson today. I have not. I know, as if, just. Yeah. Well, I haven't played tennis since I was about 12 or 13. So I decided I want to try and see how that goes and try something. I guess it would be new really for me. So, they have great instructors there, and I have LT points or bucks to use. So I decided let me try a nice tennis lesson because their instructors are fabulous over there. So we'll see how that goes today.
So if you have spare time, do you say to yourself, okay, what can I get done here? Is that your mentality?
Yeah, basically. So obviously I'm still working remotely from home for the law. So I have work to do and billable hours to get in for my full-time job until we get back rolling into court and in person. Everything's virtual, depositions, court, as I mentioned before. So, now that I have a little bit of downtime, I have to fill my day with productive things. So I try to, better myself, better other people, help other people out. And right now I'm just starting my personal training business. So it's a matter of reaching out to potential clients and setting up initial consultations. So that takes time, devising a program and a plan for each individual person. Right. And so that's basically how I've been spending my days right now. And then also training myself.
Oh, so. Yeah, that's right too. Yes, can't forget that. Yes. And
I'm my own marketing tool, so I have to keep it up.
If somebody wants to contact you for personal training, how can they do that?
So, and I'll send you my my website's in the works, and I'll send you, or I'll give it to you right now. The email that I'm using right now is ontrackfitnesswithtara@gmail.com.
Okay.
So
I'll post that too.
yeah, I put the track incorporated, get it, track,
Yeah.
But
Right.
staying on track with your fitness goals is really, the point of the name. So I'll send you the link, and I'm working on my website. It should be up and running soon. So that's where I am right now.
So your schedule, what time do you get up in the morning?
So, well, right now, later than usual, because I don't have to be in court at 9:30.
Right.
So now I wake up early, but I like to go back to sleep. So I'm up by 9. I mean, but if I have to train people, a lot of people like early mornings. So then I'll have to make an adjustment for that, since I'm not going to court yet in person. So my mornings are free.
So we've got a fan of yours here who's posting something very nice. Personal training is definitely the way to go. Tara designed a gym workout for me 6 years ago, changed my life. Higher energy, deeper sleep, firmed up. Oh, man.
Okay. So for full true disclosure, that is my sister.
Well, don't say that.
But she is also my biggest critic. So yes, she will definitely point out something that I need work on, or, but so she has been very happy with the training program I gave her. So I get 6 years it's been now. So thank you very much, Leah. And I know her gains too.
So she'd be critical. So if you gave her a bad workout program, would she also say that as well?
Yeah, she would. She would say, she was like, she might say something like, my arms got maybe a little too big from the workouts you gave me. Can we adjust it so maybe I can lean out a bit? So she would. And I gave her a leg workout that she liked. So she's like, I see definition now in my thighs. And so she was happy with that. So I'll have to start her on a new workout program.
Well, it's good that sisters. It's good that sisters can do that, right? Like I've gotten to be the young lady that I'm on was on Survivor with Elaine. We were like brothers and sisters now, and I was trying to push her to do more in fitness and the whole bit. And we had another guy on the show, this Aaron, who that's his business. He does fitness as well. And so she turned to him to get all the advice for fitness. And here I was trying to give her advice, but because we were like brother and sister, she wasn't going to listen to me. She was going to listen to somebody else. So it's been kind of fun. That I don't know if you've seen the show. She's very funny. She's a great girl. Actually, she's getting married September 25th. So we're going out to.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Yes, she's all good. Well, that's good. I wanted people to hear from you is, that whole lifestyle about really trying to push yourself to get better and better all the time. And I'm such a believer in it. And I think I've learned it more during my process for me with the True Grit Life. Is I think I probably already did it, but it was just, I grew up on a farm, and there was a work ethic that was always there. Then I was, dream was to play in the NHL. So I worked towards getting that goal. Then I had to, was in the agent business after, and I had to work for that. I didn't ever understand really the, what you have obviously already learned already, that always trying to push yourself to get like consciously making an effort to say, okay, I've got dead time here. What can I do? Well, I'm going to go be a personal trainer, then mentoring other students and all that. And like I said, I see it in you. I just feel like I get stronger the more I do, right? It isn't the other way around. Like, I'm 62 years old. I feel like I'm better than I've ever been, especially mentally too, right? I mean, I feel like you're sharper because you're doing more stuff. Yes,
you got to keep sharp all the time. And I must mention, because you mentioned the agent aspect. So I was actually signed up and scheduled to go down to Washington, D.C. in this past July for the NFL agent exam. So, which was obviously canceled due to COVID. So the reason why I picked up the personal training studying and taking that certification was that the NFL agent exam and the 2-day seminar was put on hold. And I had been studying for that all year, the collective bargaining agreement, everything. And then when that got put on hold, I said, I have to wait a whole other year now to reapply. I had to, pull my application out. And, due to COVID, everything, it's only in person. So that was canceled. So I said, what am I going to do now? So I said, okay, I'm going to become a personal trainer, because now I can't focus on the NFL agent exam. So now I'm going to do a different route right now while I have that time. And then I'll pick up the studying for the agent exam.
What are you planning to do? You're going to have your own practice like for agent business, or are you going to work with somebody else?
I don't know at this point. I've spoken to agents in different areas, Major League Baseball, and try to, and the NHL, an Olympic track athlete, was actually the one who inspired me to pursue that. Right. And spoke with him about it because he's now an agent in the NFL. And I don't know, it's a very competitive, area. So it might be something I would do. In addition to my law firm work right now, it would depend on where it took me and how it branched off. But
you may want to look at the NHL. To get certified, it's a lot easier. You don't have to go take a class or anything like that. You can do it. They've got a document. I think it's like a 25-page document that you need to fill out.
I did. I requested it. They emailed me the information. This was going back almost a year ago. I looked into the agent certification process for each of the major leagues and the NHL. And so they actually sent me the paperwork to complete. And then it is a little bit easier. The NFL one is, of course, I picked the toughest one, but I wanted to start there and then, see if I can pass that one or get in there, then work my way around to the other leagues as well.
Oh, that's cool. So I got nothing else to do. So I'm going to be a fitness trainer. I'm going to be an agent. I'm going to mentor.
At one point, sometimes I feel I'm all over the place, but sometimes I have to rein it in and make sure one area of my life doesn't fall apart. So you have to kind of balance that as well.
Right. How are you with that? I started doing my intermittent fasting. Are you big on that, or how do you feel about that kind of stuff?
So for me, I don't know enough to be honest, about nutrition or fasting to even give advice or recommend it. I don't do it. I don't do it for myself. When I did fitness competitions a long ways back, and I actually did my own diet for it. I did not fast. I did the mix of the protein, fats, sodium, all that, water, and I did a bodybuilding diet, which I did myself. I never did the fasting. I do not have any knowledge that would, sway one way or the other on that. How do you look at it though? Has it been?
It's been good. I'm stubborn, and it's good in a bad way that I'm stubborn. And because for years I've known trainers like yourself, and people always recommending fasting. A lot of people don't die by it, and and again, I guess it's the good thing. I just don't, because somebody says something to me that I should do it, I just don't dive into it. I really take my time and study it more. So I've done quite a bit of research on it. And I guess there's a lot of health benefits, healthier heart. I guess mentally you stay sharper and everything. They tell us that it makes sense. Hundreds of years ago, before there was grocery stores or whatever, people fasted all the time. They just, because there's food just wasn't there all the time for them to eat, to have that 3 square meals a day. They would just eat, there'd be food. So they'd eat a lot of food, then they wouldn't eat for maybe another 20 hours. So I've tried it. I've been doing it for 2 or 3 weeks, so I don't know if I've really gotten the full benefits yet, but I can see the advantages of it where it makes sense. I've tried to do those things where I don't eat past 9 at night, and then won't eat again until 11 o'clock the next morning. So, and it's like during that time, I think from what I learned too, during the fast, it's important. That's when you do your workouts too. So your body then is burning more fats, and all those good things are happening because more is happening inside your body. So, but it's funny because I really evolved, I was stubborn before. I was baking an egg in the morning and all that kinds of stuff. And now I get up in the morning, I get a juicer and I juice my ginger and turmeric and apple cider vinegar and all this kinds of stuff. People laugh at me now, just changed so much. So,
oh, that's good. That's fun too.
Yeah, it is good. Especially I think with the ginger and all that stuff with your immune system, during this pandemic. So, the stubborn old farm boy takes me like 60 years to learn something, but it finally sinks in. So,
yeah, you have to. I think personally, you have to make sure you do your research, talk to professionals in nutrition, register dietitians, find your physician, and find out what might work for you. You might have to experiment with a few different things.
Absolutely, definitely. I think that's a really good point, because it isn't necessarily what works for you may not necessarily work for me, right? Learn what works all the time, yeah. And you're always going to evolve too. Like I find myself, I've been in the process of doing a book, and I was laughing with the writer the other day because we keep adding to the book. Like every time I do something, I go to an event. I was at the event a couple of weeks ago with these Navy SEALs that swim across the Hudson. And it learned after sitting to these guys and talking. You learn some more stuff that you want to add to the book. And that's like, I think with life, right? I think it's important to constantly be evolving all the time. Look at you with the stuff you do. You're going to be an agent one day, and then the pandemic hits, and I think it's great. No, and that's why I want to show. Yeah, I want you on the show because I want people to see that. Listen, you're always going to face tough times. Things are going to happen to you that are out of your control. This is a really tough time with the pandemic, but you can't sit and feel sorry for yourself. I mean, listen, if you want to feel sorry for a couple of seconds, that's fine, but then you got to get up and get to work, right?
Yeah, and like I said, being confined at home, and I don't do well with idle time. There's only so much TV and work I can do from home. I had to stimulate my brain in some other manner. So, right. Why not pick up something somewhat new and go for it?
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. All right, well, we're going to have you back on again. So one more time, where can people find you? The website's not done yet. That email is what, though?
So it's On Track Fitness with Tara at gmail.com, and I'll send it to Tom so he can post it. And anyone, feel free to reach out to me with any of your personal training questions and about my sessions or anything like that. I'm always available to chat, so let me know.
Okay. So we'll have you on a regular basis now, but I have a plan. We should do like a before and after. Like here you are today, like a fitness trainer, going to be an agent. Like in a year, maybe we'll have a prediction. What do you think you're going to be doing in a year? Got a plan?
Oh boy. So hopefully in a year I don't know if anything will ever be back to normal, but I think in a year my schedule will be a little bit more the way it used to, as far as, the court and the law. And then by then I hopefully will have an idea of how I'm scheduling my fitness sessions and fitting everything in. So hopefully it'll all come around full circle and I'll be in a comfortable schedule that works for me, and I'm able to provide full benefit and services to the people that I'm helping. So give my full attention to them without, being
Excellent.
And everything else. So we'll see if that agent exam is still going next July. That's, So
I'm going to talk you into doing that NHL agent thing. That's what you should.
Yes, now I know people have, of course, said, hey, do you know Tom Laidlaw? I said, yeah, I know him. Do I talk to him about the NHL one? I said, I will.
Good.
I will. So
definitely, we'll get you in that.
Right now.
One of the big things I learned too, and I really try to pass on to everybody, I learned it from you. You're an example of it. Some Navy SEALs I've had on here before, they always talk about too that, sometimes things are intimidating, right? Like that, like to be an agent, you may think, especially as a woman, it may feel like it's an intimidating thing to do. Yeah. But when you're faced with something intimidating like that, what I've learned from my experiences from other people is it's really important just to look at the first task that you have to do, right? Don't look at the whole big picture like, oh man, the agent business is intimidating. Say, okay, what's the first thing I need to do? Well, I need to study to get my certification, and then the next step and the next step. And again, I know I'm repeating myself, but that's why I wanted to have you on the show. I wanted to see people like you and how you've experienced things in life and what you've accomplished in life. So thank you very much for coming on.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yes. And we should have spilled the beans with your sister. That was just like free advertising there. But
well, like I said, she is my biggest critic. So if she had, she's always honest with me about everything. So if she wrote a nice review about my workouts, then she did like them.
Very cool. That's good. That's good. That's a good sister.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck with them. And again, we'll have you on again in a couple of weeks. We'll make sure that everybody knows how they can contact you for the fitness training. Yeah. And again, I want people to see more and more people like yourself that have accomplished things just by getting to work. So good job.
Thank you so much, Tom. Have a great day.
Bye, Tara.
Bye.